welcome everybody to Geek Thoughts. Episode 1 of the new live streaming, sticking to a weekly schedule of me streaming. As you can probably tell though from the background, what I'm going to be talking about. Plus I already posted it on Facebook the other day. Final Fantasy VII. Not just a remake, but just Final Fantasy VII in general. From the original way back in '97 to the stuff about the remake. Oh, of course, this being the live stream, I don't like to script my live Geek Thoughts, so prepare for a lot of maybe thinking, whatnot. I got the general idea what I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk. Final Fantasy VII. Of course, the remake just came out back on the 10th, so about a week ago, and first, I am loving it. All the nostalgic feelings, some of the background music, just some of the elements in the game just takes me back to the original game way back in '97, which was the first Final Fantasy game I ever played. Growing up with the Sega systems, we didn't have Nintendo, and all the games before that were on Nintendo. So never played any of the Final Fantasy games until 7 on the PlayStation. And really, on the Sega they had some RPG-like games, like Rings of Power, I think it was called, something like that. And before Final Fantasy VII, I've played a handful of those type of RPGs, but looking back, I think I was probably just a little bit too young to fully appreciate the RPG genre until Final Fantasy VII, and then it was just, I fell in love with it. I did. It's what made me love the Final Fantasy games, really like the RPG style genre of games set up like Final Fantasy VII is, like the turn-based battling, things like that. I remember the first time I played it, I picked it up, bought it. A friend who had been playing it had come over. We had picked up pizza from, I think, a place called Donato's, and he was just kind of guiding me, not telling me where to go, but, just kind of teaching me about Final Fantasy VII, RPGs, stuff like that. So it was fun times, and I must have played that original game many times. And then after, joined the military, first duty assignment, picked up another PlayStation. Of course, that was one of the first games I picked up again and played through still multiple times. Hell, I still play it at times now on Steam. I think I'm actually in the process of going through it. I haven't touched it in a couple of months, but I'm in the process of going through the original one as well on Steam. But the remake, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for that. Once they first announced it, was impatiently waiting for it. It was supposed to be released in March. It got delayed to April 10th. Of course, I pre-purchased it. All I had to do was wait. If you remember seeing my postings, I was doing, like, the last handful of days, I was taking a quick, 30-second video of the countdown on the TV and posting it because I could not wait. Ugh. And of course, it's technically not the full game. They're releasing it in episodic type of format. When I talk about Final Fantasy VII the remake, I will do my best not to throw out any detailed spoilers. Okay, but a couple may slip, and if I know I'm about to throw one down, I will let y'all know with that.
Spoilers.
Okay, wanted to wait for it to go away before I continue talking. So, but from my understanding, and I've been playing it for a couple of hours each night since I got it. I think there was a night or two where I was just too tired. I didn't play it at all. But I'm not even at the end of it yet. So it's still massive. But from my understanding, it takes you up where you leave Midgar. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But, like I said, from my understanding, when you get to that point in the game, that's where it ends. And apparently it ends in a way where I mean, knowing that there's a lot more to the game, to the story, it would leave experienced people wanting more to continue, but it ends in a way where like a nice break point, I guess, would be the lack of a better term, a nice stopping point in the story until they release the next one. And I mean, hell, the original game was 3 discs, and it was on the PlayStation. The discs held a lot more data than like the old school cartridges, so it was just like picking it up. I was like, wow, it's 3 discs, and already, playing PlayStation games, there was just like so much more content within the games being on CD format. And then I picked it up and it was like 3 discs. I mean, this game must be massive. And it was. I was like you start playing it, and by the time you get done with it, it's like you're almost like you were playing a different game plot wise. It was like the changes, the plot twists, what your new goals become. I mean, it literally seemed like you were playing a different game by the time you got to the end, and I loved that. I mean, it was just massive. The story I fell in love with, and the remake is just it improves on all of that. There's a lot of extra stuff, a lot of extra side missions. Um, there's a whole section that is not even in the original that involves some of the characters that are in the beginning of the game in the original that don't that aren't in the game by the end of the game. Not spoiling it. Um, it goes into a lot more details on 3 in particular characters like that. And I mean, let me back up a second. I already said I've been playing a couple hours a night, on average at least. And for you Final Fantasy VII people who played the original, when you get to the point where you have to rescue Tifa, if you know what I'm talking about, that's where I'm at right now. It's like last time I was playing, I was like, "That's a good okay." It's getting kind of late. This is a good break point, and continue on next time I pick up the controller. And I've been playing. I mean, I was playing it on the 10th. I played it Saturday. I think Sunday. Monday I didn't play it because work got in the way. But I played it Tuesday, and no, I did not play Tuesday because I streamed. I played it Wednesday. I didn't play it Thursday. Yesterday, did I play any Final Fantasy VII last night, or did I just scroll TikTok and take a nap? Okay, I don't think I played last night either. Actually, the more I think about it, I attempted to play some Diablo and then did some edits, like making the that spoilers alert that I popped up a few minutes ago. Um, I am so digressing now, but anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I'm just at that point in the story, and I've been playing. It's not like I've been like, oh, I'll play 20 minutes, another 20 minutes. I've been putting some time into it, doing all the side missions. I'm trying not to leave any of those behind. I'm taking my time, exploring the world, which brings me back to the nostalgic feeling. The Seventh Heaven Bar. Seeing it in a 3D setting, it's just like, wow. This is I remember originally playing the game, going to that location, but now going back to that location in the remake, it looks so much better. The sounds are so much better. They do have some of the original music in there you can find. Sometimes when you're battling, you hear the battle music. Barrett does a very poor dun 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 dun, dun which hearing him do that just was like, oh, that's freaking awesome. They have the Final Fantasy VII fanfare victory music in there in a way. It's just, I'm sure my pretty lady can attest. Especially that first night when I fired it up, I was just fixated on the TV. I was just like, look at that. Of course, I've been taking screenshots, multiple screenshots, been posting them at times. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really loving it. Original was one of my favorite games. I do consider the original Final Fantasy VII to be part of one of my favorite games of all time. Um, there's always a handful of those. Sometimes it rotates, like, oh, it's the top 5, top 10. That one is always within the top 5, no matter It could be any particular day, could be number one, could be number five, but always within the top five. Always. And that's how much I just love that game. What's up, Jake Tomo07? Just doing my geek thoughts, talking about Final Fantasy VII, trying not to give any spoilers away, just talking about the remake, the original. I already talked about why I love it so much, how I fell in love with the original, still play it to this day even. I even downloaded it to my phone at one point, and I had this controller. You could connect with your phone, but the controller's not bad. Some issues though is like you could only press one button at a time. So like if you're moving with a D-pad and try to press another button, it doesn't register that second button press. So I haven't really used that controller at all in any of the games I was going to use it with because of that. Some games you gotta press multiple buttons at the same time, and that controller you just can't. And I don't like the on-screen controls on any game like that on a mobile device, but I do have it. I purchased it from the Play Store, so it will always be under my account on Google Play forever. And of course, I bought it through Steam, so it will always be under my Steam account. So I can play it whenever I want. And probably, don't be surprised if I start the game over, Final Fantasy VII, the original, on Steam, and use that on some of my game streamings on Tuesdays and Thursdays. In fact, don't be surprised if Tuesday, y'all tune in and watch me game stream on Tuesday evening, and I'm playing the original Final Fantasy VII. I'm not going to stream the remake, though, until after I've played through it. And then I'll, again, start over from the beginning and live stream that. That way it's more of a casual feel, I'll kind of already know where things are, so I won't be like, oh crap, where do I have to go? Try to find your way around the map, navigating the map. So people can see my stream and get the action right away and not the boring parts of an RPG, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm digressing again. And of course, every experienced player knows that, experienced Final Fantasy VII players, it's like one of the saddest moments in video game history is in Final Fantasy VII. And of course, the first part of the remake doesn't go up to that point in the story, so I'm interested to see if they're going to change that. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you'll learn someday. If you're playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Well, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I've talked about why I love it. My thoughts on the new one. I could keep dragging it out. But, yeah, it's lighting for the live stream. Yeah, you want people to see this pretty face, right? Yeah, but the people watching my live stream, they need to be able to see this handsome face. If it was handsome, that is.
It's very, very handsome, and I guess I will share that.
Well, good, because it's too late because I'm live streaming. I have been live streaming. People have been seeing this Eric face. So yeah, well, I've pretty much talked about what I plan on talking about, so let me open it up. Anyone have questions? I mean, questions for me on my opinion on the game? Let me, wait for people to type in some questions, I guess. Do it like a question answer session now. Yeah, I figured my Geek Thoughts stream wouldn't be as long as my gaming streams because I could get through a topic like that.
Just don't have because not that I don't like it, I just play it.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you can't ask about some things. I mean, you don't have to. I mean,
I don't know well enough to know what I would.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be about the game, specifically. Someone could pop in the chat and be like, "Well, how often do you play?"
Okay, well, I have questions about this game.
Okay, what are your questions about this game?
Choose character. Do you always play the same one?
During the non-battle scenes, so far I've been Cloud, which is the main character. During the battle sequences, you can switch to the different characters,
Okay.
and then control the main attacking of that with the character you're controlling, and then still give commands to your other party members. And her asking that made me remember this. One thing I'm not liking about the remake that I like better about the original, you could name all the characters. All the main characters that end up being in your party, you can give new names to. The remake, you can't. That's just like one of those things that made me fall in love with the original that did not carry over to the remake. Sounded like you were going to ask a second question before I went on that tangent. Okay, well, I'm going to drag it out for another 3 minutes. I figure my minimum stream time for my Geek Thoughts will be 20 minutes. When live stream me playing games, I will try for at least an hour. But Geek Thoughts doesn't seem to necessarily have to take an hour, especially if it's something I happen to talk all about and no one is asking, interacting with the chat. So I know one thing I'll be doing after this is watching the next episode of Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 7 on Disney Plus. Yay! And then after that, I'll be playing Final Fantasy VII the Remake sometime this evening. I may live stream it. No, not the remake. I already said I'm not going to live stream until the second playthrough. I'm sure my future Geek Thoughts will be a little bit better flowing. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll talk about that now. I'm done talking about Final Fantasy VII, but let me get into my Geek Thoughts thing. I'm not going to script them. I mean, the point of it being a live stream is the candidness, the spur of the moment, for lack of a better term, real time reaction from me talking. If it was going to be a video that I planned on sticking to a script, if I mess up, edit it, stuff like that, that'd be one thing. But for the live stream, it's all candid, sit down, talk, people watching, ask questions, real-time interaction, whatnot. And it's exactly that. Geek Thoughts. Geek Thoughts. Have to get used to camera position and hands. Anyways, Geek Thoughts up there, above my head. Whatever geeky topics I want to talk about, be it Star Trek, Star Wars, internet, technology, stuff like that. I will sit down, come up with the general ideas I want to touch base on. Yeah, that's it. So, well, for those of you that watched this short 20-minute Geek Thoughts, come back next week and I'll have more Geek Thoughts.